Hi everyone, welcome to my fourth video, and I'm continuing my English practice with recording myself like this. So, actually, I'm trying to not to skip any single day from my starting day, and actually, it's not really hard. It's not really easy to get something in your routine at first, but as I know, when you make it in a repetitive action for 3 weeks, then it will be your own routine. So I guess I need some more time to get used to doing this recording thing, but I'm kind of challenging myself to improve my English and also get used to speaking out more naturally in front of cameras and even uh, or even in front of the others. Actually, there's some difference between like speaking to myself and speaking in front of the others, but one thing that is critically different is that when I'm in front of the others, especially the native speakers, or especially my professor in particular, I don't know why, but it makes me really a bit nervous when I speaking in front of them, even though they are not judging anything or yeah, or anything very, they don't say anything very negative on me, but I think I'm not that much of confident to myself that I am feeling that I'm not good enough or sometimes have very low self-esteem. That's why I'm a bit afraid or somehow be anxious about myself that what should I say? What should I prepare to say? Kind of things are almost always like overwhelming my head. So it's very different to speaking like this to myself to from to speaking with others. But anyway, I believe that practicing like this will make me more confident and make me more natural to speaking in English. So I hope it will be more helpful in my future communication. And yeah, that's why I'm keep doing this. So yeah, how was your day? For me, it was the first day of my spring break. So actually, I didn't have really much plan, but I listed up some things to do, and just my small post-it, and I really did nothing out of them, but I just started to review the previous materials that I learned from the course. And it sounds a bit boring, uh, but at least I could start the upcoming assignment. Yeah, I'm very boring student here, but I'm a person who wants to uh, not who eager to not to delay anything behind like the deadline, but I'm trying to do it a bit in advance. That's why I started my assignment in this very precious spring break, and I also had my own spare times, like not only doing my assignment, but also I had very much relaxing time, like watching Netflix series. And I recently began watching the series named How I Met Your Mother. Isn't it right? I think so. Yeah. How I Met Your Mother series from the first series, and I found out that it has like 9 series in total. And actually, I heard of this title a long time ago, but didn't really interested into dive into watching all the series. But suddenly, I felt like, oh, I wanna watch this, and I just began to watch it, and I think I went through like 3 continuous series in one at one time, and it's hard to like stop watching it whenever I first I begin to watch some kind of series. So yeah, I think I will enjoy watching it for few upcoming days. And it was very interesting and very funny to watch those series, even though it was made in a few years ago, maybe. I'm not sure when it was first recorded, first made, but anyway, I'm very much into it, and I'm really enjoying watching it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch the next one whenever I have some meal by myself, or just laying down and watching it whenever it allows me. So yeah, that was my recent uh, news from my side. And what else I can talk about? Yeah, I wanted to share this one. Actually, after I came to the state, I it's been like 2 months now, and I felt like, and actually, in fact, I gained some weight. And I don't think it's because of the food of the state, but because of my dietary habit, personal fault, I guess. And there are so many sweet things that makes me like confused. Like I wanna eat this, but it will make me gain weight. But anyway, I eat them. I think that's the biggest problem I encounter every day. But it's very hard to like manage my dietary every day because there's so many delicious foods around me, and whenever I go to student restaurant, whenever I pay like more or less $10, then since it's like buffet style, I can eat like from pizza, hamburgers, fries to salads, drink, and any kind of cakes are theirs. So it's just like a food heaven. Is that the right expression? I'm not sure, but I feel like I have to eat everything there, and it's a bit hard for me to manage my appetite there. So I usually eat too much than the average portion I usually eat. So I try not to go to student restaurant too often because I know myself well. So I just try not to go there to prevent overeating for myself. Yeah. So in order to prevent from gaining more weight, I recently bought some healthy desserts, and they are protein bars. As you know, there are how so many flavors of protein bars, and I bought one set. which contains 10 different flavors, and there were like cookie dough flavor and lemon cake flavor, double chocolate flavor, and all those kind of mixed delicious flavors were there, and I actually bought them uh for my meal so that I can have my meal very briefly and more healthy way. But thing is that I found myself that I eat those protein bars as a dessert instead instead of like eating them as a meal. So whenever I finish my meal, then I open one protein bar or one or two protein bars as a dessert with coffee. So I guess that's not really a good replacement of the meal, but it's just adding more calories after my meal. So I really lose the point of buying them. But anyway, I really enjoy eating them after my meal, and I really don't regret to buying them. But as you know, I'm still gaining some weight, and I don't know how to deal with my all the fats. But I'm still I do my workout regularly, at least 3 days a week, and I prefer running or uh, walking on the treadmill. So I guess I can burn some calories there, and I try not to be too obsessed by myself to eating something I'd like to. So that was my excuse of buying the protein bars for my dessert. And I guess there's so many like delicious food that makes me want to eat, but I really have very low self well, how can I say this? Self control, self control power that can make me not to eat too much. So it's always like burden for me to lower my ap- appetite, and make me calm when I'm in front of the food that I love. And even though I usually cook for myself in home, uh, I sometimes fail to control the quantity of the food that I make. So I put too much meats, or I put too much pasta pastas. So I usually make like 1.5 portion or two portions for one meal, and actually I have to divide them into two or one, more than one like dishes. But I usually put in one pan and then start eating. Then actually it's hard to stop in the middle of the in the middle of my supper. So that's why I guess I usually finish eating up all the dish, and then I regret, oh, I ate too much. But anyway, as I said, I'm working out, so I hope I don't gain too much, but I just maintain my uh, uh, current weight so that I will not regret after like 1 or 2 months. So yeah, that was my current concern and current news about my everyday life. And the next part of my muttering, I'd like to talk about the other topic. And today, and unlike the previous days, I already checked up with the chat GPT for today's topic. That and it requested me that today's topic will be: is it better to live in a big city or a small town? Why? So yeah, this can be very interesting topic, I guess. So what do you think of like living in a big city or a small town? Mm, but personally, I think I prefer small town to the big city because just it's really personal reason, but I am not really enjoying um, living in the dense population, and even though they are very efficient transportation or facilities and utilities around, but I really hate people too dense, and I kinda lose some energies and very much distracted from the that much of the dense popular population. So I used to live and work in a very much dense and big city, and I really didn't enjoy living there because, as I said, whenever I had to go to company and come back from the company, I always had to take a bus, and even I had to transfer two buses, and uh, you cannot imagine that there were like loads of buses in the bus stops, and people were running to get there on, and they were like running around, hitting everyone, and didn't don't say like I'm sorry because they're too busy. And even though I like success to get into bus, there were too many people inside that you have to be squished like this, and everyone looking at their smartphone like this, literally. They don't really just standing there, but they don't um just everyone is in a very uncomfortable um, condition, but they still grab their smartphone. And I was one of them, but I don't really want to watch of something in a very moving um, situation. So I just try to not to. I put it in my pocket and just grabbing the handle and not to be uh, fell down, not to fell down on someone's shoulder, and trying my best to um stand firm. Yeah, those kind of like uh terrible situation happens every day. Imagine you have to go through all those like very how can I say this negative word? Very sick and tired of situation every morning, every night, like more than 1 hour, then that will make you sick, literally. Like physically and mentally make you exhausted and make you very stay in low energy after or before you work. So I am kind of tired of those kind of situations, and it's really hard to escape from those situations when you are living in a big city. And yeah, don't really like those overcrowded situation. And when compared to that situation, now I'm living comparatively small town, and less dense population are here, and I can feel that less people are walking or driving on the street. So I feel rather comfortable and cozy in this kind of small town. Yeah, and I believe there are lots of pros and cons in living in small city, and one of the drawbacks, I guess, is that it can be somehow boring to some people, I guess. Like for example, stores or restaurants are few and they close like 5 p.m. and then you cannot really enjoy like kind of uh city atmosphere after sunset. And those situations can make someone really boring and not really alive whenever they want to hang out until late at night. But it doesn't really uh apply to my situation, so I rather prefer staying at home. And quite busy whenever I'm staying at home, and I don't really enjoy like hanging around. And I'm a bit old. I'm a bit not interested in like hanging around, seeing new things, go to clubs, kind of thing. So I think I'm just very satisfied and feeling just enough to live in not that much developed facilities. So yeah, and one of the good thing about living in small town is that since there are maybe it can apply to only this town, but I feel like people are more kinder than the people who are living in the very much developed urban cities. Because as you know, people maybe they are all neighbors to each other, and maybe they know better than the other communities, and they are more intimate to each other, I guess. And I since they come across more frequently than the people who are living in the bigger city. So maybe they can meet each other more often and they know each other more intimately. So that's why they are more uh, friendly to maybe their neighbors and also for like foreigners to like me. And yeah, so far I feel like it's more friendly and people have more, how can I say in the English? Let me think. They have their more space for mentally and physically more space for others. So I just feel like people are more, uh, oh, it's hard to say in English. I'm trying my best, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, okay. So, okay, for the next one, maybe one of the drawbacks in living small city, small town, mm, I think there might be less opportunities in when regarding some cultural or uh, cultural activities. So, for example, when it comes to more much bigger cities, they are more like theaters or like common space for the youth or news artists or kind of cultural related activities, exhibitions, or kind of things are commonly opened and there since there are many enterprises or startups or very young artists all gathered in those areas. So they have more places and even like activities to hold those kind of like events. And people are more, since there are more events, people can visit more. And I think these cycles go in on and on. But in the small town, there are less people who are working on those kind of fields. So uh, that that kind of cultural related people pool itself is very small, and those utilities or what can I say, some opportunities for them to support those kind of events to be held itself is much less than when compared to the bigger cities. So well, I think it's not that much a big deal because you can go to big cities when you want to uh, be exposed to those kind of events. And even though you are living in a big city, in my experience, if you don't have any like time, spare time or money, or if the circumstances don't allow you to visit or go to those events, then I think it's the same as living in the small towns. So even though there are many opportunities or events in big city, in turn it means at least you need some your resources like time or money or those kind of resources should be necessary for joining those events. So even though you are living in a small town, if you have enough like time and money and everything related resources, then you can go whenever you want to visit those events to the other city or nearby cities or kind of, yeah, those kind of works can be done, I guess. So yeah, I think I both lived in a big city and small towns, but usually when I was living in a big city, I really didn't enjoy it. And uh, but one thing is that I loved is that there are very much well-equipped transportation. So it's very efficient to use those transportation and you don't have to really drive. And even driving will cost you a lot, cost more and cost more time and money to do that. But when you are living in a big city, it will save you some money because there are metros and buses and many other like related transfer systems, and those kind of systems are so well equipped so that it was much efficient and effective to use those systems. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it can be only applied to my own experience, but it was very convenient to use those transportation, public transportation, I mean. And it wasn't hard to reach in the like main city of the uh, main main urban city of the city. How can I say this? I'm sorry. Uh, yeah. Anyway, it was very comfortable to reach to any like famous sites or anywhere you wanna go, and it was very easy to reach there and more accessible and more affordable to those kind of like commuting things. So I guess this will be my overall opinions about about today's topic. Is it better to live in a big city or a small town? So I'm very curious about how people prefer to which option kind of things. And yeah, I just talk about my own experiences based on my own experiences, but yeah, I want to hear about the others as well. Anyway, today's talking will be ended now. So thank you for watching my video. And even though it sounds a bit not really natural, and sometimes I'm taking too much time thinking of how to say in English, but I guess you enjoyed it, and I'm really glad to hear about the correction if you can provide. Yeah, I'm open to every feedback of it. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good day.